Hi, all. Good morning. Thanks for joining today. So today we'll be exploring a new topic today, which is architecting API integration in Azure. This is again part of our AZ303 exam preparation, and I'm assuming most of you already familiar what is API, why the APIs is used. So I'm going to wait for you guys to respond. Should I just take some basic of API, or you already familiar with API?
I'm familiar, Karthik, so I don't know if anybody else is.
Okay, guys, I think like we need a collaboration. Like you guys has to say yes or no, then I can take extra steps. Otherwise, I'll continue assuming that you already know API. So basically, API is your application programming
Karthik,
interface.
sorry, there is some noise coming in the background.
Okay, so
That's
the
fine.
application programming interface is mainly used for exposing your data or consuming your data. For example, we are in the retailer organization and we are developing a application, and that application need some information from third party, or like we'll take one good example like a social lab. We have a social lab, some organization using this social app for a corporate collaboration. So what they do, they come to our app and create a profile, but they don't want to go manually to the portal and create a profile for everyone. They wanted to call our service, and they want to create it from their system. For example, whenever their HR application onboarding a new resource, that application automatically calls our application to create a profile, and the profile will be sent it to the employees when they onboarded. So for that, for their HR application to talk to our social application, we need to expose our service so that they can talk. So that could be like one of the API you can develop. And when you are developing a API and exposing, basically it is your logic. In that logic, you have a create method, edit method, or read method, or delete method. So that is normally APIs comes with some verbs as well. So verbs also we need to understand, which I'm going to show here. I just took some. If you can see my screen, where you can see like the normally the HTTP methods for the RESTful services, you have post, get, put, patch, delete. These are the verbs, and each has a specific reason. Like by posting, you can create. For reading some data, you can get. You can call the get method. For update and replace, you can also use the put method, and update and modify, you can use the patch verb. For deleting the social account, you can use a delete verb. So this I have taken from the article, the website here. The credit goes to them. Okay, so now you understand the basic of API and what are the verbs available, like what are the methods you are exposing. So now let's go into subject now. So today's topic is all about API integrations. So assuming like you have a social application and you have the API created, but how you are going to manage this API when they are sending to third parties? Another good example is your retailer application, where Microsoft given some example when I was going through the material, like a shoe company. The shoe company has a um, they're basically selling shoes, and they have their partners. When the partner need to understand the data information, they need a sum of APIs to call, or our vendors who is supplying the shoes, they also need to understand how many shoes are currently in the stock. As soon as it reaches to below some number, they can automatically send us some additional supply. So they need to understand, without our intervention, they can use our APIs to get that inventory information. So all these multiple APIs you are developing, I'm just taking a simple example of retail samples, right? So when in the real time, you will be creating hundreds of APIs, like a bank as example. bank can have thousands of APIs consumed and published to various of industry people. It could be insurance people, or it could be like auditing, some business cases. Like there will be various use cases for exposing your API. Assuming like you have a hundreds of APIs you're publishing, and you need to control that. In some cases, like the APIs you are exposing, it has to be secure, and it should have a proper authentication. Without that, they should not access, or you want to restrict by particular partner or end customer, or you want to only expose this API within the some corporate network or within the country. All these restrictions you need. So the API, it is like service want to be secure, then you need some sort of API management. So API management, there are various products available in the market, but Azure already has a inbuilt service called API management, which we are going to explore today, and why we need to use that, what are the benefits you are going to get. As I mentioned, like most of the AZ30 topics we covered, and a few three more pending. So today we are picking up architect API integration. Um, let's move on to the some of the basics. So in this module, we are going to learn how this API management works, publishing, managing, and improving the performance, protecting the API, authentication management, and then you can also try for the serverless exposing the APIs. So okay, so I already explained what is API management and why it is useful for having the API documentation, or limiting the access or health monitoring of that particular API, how many people are consuming, what is the status of that API, whether they are able to get data, or converting your data into a JSON format. Like you may be having a relational table or XML format which you wanted to expose to JSON format, then modern format like JSON support conversion, connecting to any API. So you have a API management layer, but underlying APIs, whatever you develop, it could be like any type of APIs. It could be legacy or it could be modern. So we need some sort of support from the platform. The API management should support all type of APIs. It could be like hosted in a Azure App Service or in a container, or it could be serverless APIs. So all type of APIs should be supported in the API management. And then also like analytical service and security, all these benefits you are getting with the API management. So now, before we move into how it works, you need to understand a few things like creating a API management. The name you use for the gateway must be globally unique within the URL given here. So then you need to choose a API management key, which it should be unique. And then when you're registering the web API, you will also see this URL, the how you are going to register that. So the default azure-api.net endpoint is used everywhere. And as I mentioned, like when it comes to, I think this we will explain in the actual API framework, what are the frameworks available. Let me go to the portal now. Okay. So I'm in my Azure portal. I'm going to create my API management service, or you can go to your create resource where you can identify that from the integrations and API management. Just click create. Okay, so now we are going to create API management. As a basic, we have to give resource group. So I'm going to give resource group underscore. Today we are talking about the API and 2606. Okay, I created a resource group, and then I'm giving my region UK South. Now the resource name, I'm going to give them some unique name. So because this is API management, I can give any name what I So I'm going to say MK Azure User Group API. Let's see whether this name is available. Okay, available. MK Azure User Group API management is available. Okay, so our organization, MK Azure User Group, and then some email. I'm going to give my URL, me and my architecture, and then the pricing tier. As I mentioned, like in other services, you have various type of pricing tier, and each has a set of SLAs. So you can see by the within the bracket. So the highest one you are getting with the premium were 99.9% SLA. For today, I'm just going to pick up some developer SLA just for a development purpose. I'm testing. I'm just choosing developer SLA and then create. Okay, while this is getting created, anybody has any question? Like, are you able to follow?
Yes, Karthik.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Karthik.
Karthik, this will be created immediately. I had a scenario that it will be take around some 30 minutes to create this API management.
Sorry, the API management? No, I think.
Yeah, this business group, that API management one.
Yeah, I don't think this will take longer time. We'll just wait for a few minutes. If not, then I have other API management created previously.
Yeah, that's what I am, because I had some hands-on very that earlier that while creating this API management, it took some 40 minutes to create.
Okay, good to know that.
Not sure, maybe we can wait some time, otherwise.
Yeah, sure. So basically today we will be running over the normal time. So maybe like when the session ends, please rejoin again. Okay, so parallelly, I want to, while this is loading, we can go to portal.azure. So I have another API management service here, which is okay. So when you create an API management service, here I have actually consumption plan. I wanted to have the developer plan to show you the developer portal as well. Let's wait for that. Meantime, I will show you a couple of things. Okay, once you created the API management service, you can go to the APIs where you can see different type of this framework supports you to create any type of APIs. As I mentioned, like you may have a logic app based API, or you may have a APIs which is hosted in the app service, or it could be like a function app as a serverless app. If you remember, when we talk about the serverless microservice, even the Azure function, the rider app, like the taxi app we talk about, in that example, everything is completely serverless, if you remember. Or quickly I will open that. Networking data platform. I hope you guys remember this slide. Can you remember this architecture?
Yeah, yes, Karthik.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this taxi app, we have three different APIs, one for passenger, trips, and drivers. So these APIs are actually serverless based, right? So here in the framework, when you come to the API management, you have a various options. What are the options you want to use? You can use it blank API, and then you start writing everything, or you can go with if you already have an app which is hosted in app service, you can select this one. Or if you want to be function app, then you can select the function app to publish your app here. So first, what we are going to do, we have app service called Northwind shoe product, so which is hosted in the app service. When I click that, I can go to app service and browse that particular app, which you can see here. The particular app is already app service is already available, and then I select this app service, and the display names already selected, and this is the base URL of that particular app service when it comes to API. So if you remember previously we mentioned, this will remain same, but this is your name of your API. So the one I already added here, which you can see when I add a, hope you're able to follow, right? So when you click add API, you can add from any type of app. The one I added now, it's the app service based. So now once I added the app service, okay, before going to here, first I want to show you how my app service look like. Okay, so go to browser. This is the app which I hosted in my app service, which contains, this is the Northwind shoes product, and which contains get, verb, and completely like inventory and products, two different model available for inventory and product. This could be product could be available for partners, inventory could be should be available for my suppliers. So two testing APIs already there, sample API, which we are publishing here. When you come here, I simply added my app API here, which shows me what are the verbs are available. So first one, find details of specified product. And then this one is for retrieve the details of every product sold. So all the APIs are available, webs are available. Now I need to test individually. I go to this, and you can also see the responses for all this one, 200. If for the successful response, 200, okay should come. So I go to my test and I click send. So because I have not given the parameter value, I have to provide the value here and then say send. So now my API is responding to me the 200 okay HTTP response, which you can see the values here. So product ID 1 gives me this stock number of stock numbers in stock 195. So this giving me like basically my API or exposed to via API management service, and all the verbs are working fine. In case if I want to expose different type of the other than the get, if I want to put method or delete method, that I can go to my design, and then in the I think base policy. I forgot. Sorry, 1 minute.
Karthik, do we have this API implementation in any specific language like .NET or Spring, or how we are actually implementing this API methods?
That could be like any API. Like it could be when you create an app service, you can decide what are the apps you wanted.
Okay. And also, does it need to be like, do I need to, suppose if I'm using a Spring framework, so do I need to create something like Spring Cloud in Azure? Or?
No, that could be like, yeah, so API can be a, Java based or .NET based, but you are going to host that in your container, right? Or your API can be running in anywhere. It could be app service or it could be container framework. But this API management is the front end layer for you to publish. That's why when we went to this API management here, you had a okay. You can see like variety of frameworks available.
Okay, okay.
And anything you can select from here.
Okay, so suppose if I want to use my API hosted in Spring Cloud, still I will select a app service for that, or?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's the main purpose of this.
Okay, so when I go to the this API, I go to the profile. Sorry, I'll just pause it for a minute. Okay, so as I mentioned, like now we have the APIs. The API hosted in App Service we published in our API here as a Northwind Shoe product, which comes with a variety of methods. Going back to that API. Okay. So all these are webs available from my API. So the API only currently supporting get one. If I want to make a changes to this, then in this API, if I add additional one put method or a delete method, which will be visible here. For now, only get is available. That's why all the get 4 different type of things operations you are able to see here. So again, testing of this individually, you can go and test here by clicking that. When you click send, any parameter already published by the API, which you need to provide here, and then the method, the response to that, it's showing you 200. Okay, so this is the app service based API you are publishing here. Now I want to show you another one for serverless. So for doing a serverless, what you need to do first, you need to have a function app. So go to the function app, just create a new function app. And I'm going to select the same like demo. Yeah. And function app I'm providing its name like MK or MK social new. So I'm providing my function app name is MK social new. That will be like a social app, which is this is the response to the previous question, right? When you are developing an API, it can be running in any runtime. So either you can have a container based or code based. So in like Java or .NET, like you can develop a API in anywhere. So now actually I'm creating one serverless sample API. So I'm going to choose a .NET for me and then say UK South. Okay, so I'm creating a function app which is purely going to be serverless. Okay, if this is created, no. Not sure like why this is taking this much time, but this morning I was testing something, was working quicker. Okay, going back. So creating API and just create. Meantime, I'll just go to my function app. So my new Azure function is getting created. Meantime, I'll just delete the previous one so that I can run through that. Okay, so our function app is created. I just go to the function app. Here in the function, I need to add a new function here. Refresh, add. Because we are going to expose this as an API, I wanted this in the HTTP trigger. And scroll down. In the template name, I'm going to provide, I can just provide like a profile. Function and then click add. So the profile is created. Now I go to the code because it's a function app, sample code is available. Assuming like you have a logic here, the logic, whenever somebody calls to your profile as a, or this API, you can have any type of response, right? Like whatever we've seen in the verbs, put, get, or delete. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove all of this. And I'm just going to have a sample response here. Sample API response. Profile created. Okay, so now if I save this, whenever somebody calls to this HTTP response like this API, they will get a response of sample API. Now I go back to my API service here. So API management service, I go to API. This time I'm going to add my API as a new function app. So when I click the function app here, it gives me option to select which function I have. I browse it, I go to the function app. There is one MK social new, which I'm selecting. So the profile is selected, select. And all this URL you can see here. Just click OK. It is added now. By default, this gives me get and post two verbs. So if I click the get and go to test, I'm going to send. It gives me 200 OK. And in the bottom, you can see sample API response, profile created. So that the serverless API can have any logic. I'm just taken as a sample hello world kind of sample. So sample API response, we received it, and I go to my post, and again I'm going to test it. So I got my 200 OK. Then two methods are verified. If you wanted to post additional verbs here from that API, then you have to make it changes in the API. Go back to your API function app, which is create. Okay, so new one we created. I go there and select function and profile, code and test. Integrations. On this integration HTTP trigger, I select. Here you can see currently it is only published get and post. If I want to include additional like a delete, patch, put, I selected and save. Refresh. Going back to so now here are operations, or I can just say add an API function API. Okay, I think existing one I will try to add operations. I think I will probably like delete and re-add. Function app, browse, yeah, select, create. So now you can see all of the newly published one. So again, all this one, when you're trying to test it from the portal, you get a response of 200 okay. The reason you are getting 200 okay here, and I will tell you another one. If you're accessing from the portal, like the developer portal where everyone consumes, because when I created the first time, it was actually a consumer plan. I don't have the portal here. That is why I want to create a developer portal and show you the sample. Okay, so until it's created, going back to this, all this time, you can see here the HTTP header already contains my subscription key. That is why this is getting the 200 okay, because the subscription key is passed here. So every time, if you want to control this API for certain people like your partner and supplier, then you can go to the subscription where you can create a add new subscription and attach that primary key and secondary key. So for now, built in all access subscription, whenever you create a management service, you get this one, which comes with the primary and secondary. As all you know already, primary and secondary is the best high availability case. In case you want to change the primary key, like a key, you can use the secondary key until you generate the primary key. So you don't have any downtime. So that is why you have a primary and secondary. And the default one comes with this. So all these APIs we tested now, default subscription key is used. So because of that, anyone accessing your API from internet, they're able to access because the subscription key already attached to that. So in case they are not you giving your partner this URL, and if they're trying to access the API, they need a key. So you need to share the key with them so that from their code they can call this a key. So if I go back to the API, and this MK Social no. in case we remove this subscription key, then they will not be able to access this. So this you can do by, I think you just need to remember that. So on this My Social New, go to settings where you have the subscription. By default, this is attached, right? That's why you're getting. If I remove this, uncheck, save, and try to test it same again, any of these verbs, send, still coming on the cache. Yeah. Okay, settings. It still contains that. Because I'm calling from the portal, if I'm calling this from outside, then I will get this. If I don't have the response, then I will not be able to access this. Resource not found because I have not paused this subscription. So subscription is, I think we talk about the securing your API, right? So you can publish any backend APIs to API management, and the same time you can govern it. To govern, you have various options, like you can select a subscription and create a new key, and that key will be used in your application for allowing them to access. And other general governance items, like when you go to this on the design,